Alright, we're going to use a program called Photopea. It's PHOTOPEA.com. It's an online version of something like Photoshop. So we're going to get, you don't even have to have an account. So you just, you go new project, and you can title your project whatever you want. So in this case, we're going to do name project. Okay, and then we're going to do inches, and we'll choose 6 by 4, and we're going to choose 150 pixels per inch and a transparent background, and click create. Alright, so now we've got our file ready to go. I'm going to go to File and Open. I'm going to open the files that I need for this project. In this case, I need the mountain range file and one of the pattern files. So I'm just going to choose, let's see, I guess I'll choose number, let's choose number 4. There we go. So I'm going to choose the mountain range and a pattern file. And you can see now I've got my name project, the one I just created. I've got mountain range, and I've got pattern 4. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and to my mountain range file. I'm going to click Control C, go back to my project, Control V, and now I've got the mountain range in place. So that means I can actually close the mountain range file. Alright, I'm going to leave the pattern file alone for now. Go back to name project, and I'm going to use this quick selection tool here, and I'm just going to paint over the sky, and it should select, oh, one thing I should have done here, Control D. I'm going to resize. I'm going to use the transform controls up here at the top. Click transform controls, and I'm just going to resize my image so that it fits on my canvas. Okay, now I'm going to hit enter. Well, actually, I think I just turn off the transform controls. There we go. Okay, so now I've resized the image to fit my canvas size. I'm going to go back to this quick selection tool we were just talking about, and I'm going to just paint over the sky. Make sure I get all of the sky layer here. That looks pretty good. Oops, maybe just a little bit more. There we go. It does a pretty good job of selecting the pixels that are in the sky. I'm going to go up here to Layer, and I'm going to go New, and I'm going to choose this Layer via Cut. And what that did is it took that selection that I made, and it put it on its own layer here. And we're just going to name that layer Sky. And then this previous layer that we had, we're going to name that Mountains. And then we're going to drag the sky layer underneath the mountain layer. And now that we have those two things separated, you can see the sky. I'm going to go up here to Layer, New Adjustment Layer, and we're going to add Hue Saturation. And what that did is that put a hue saturation layer above the sky but below the mountains. So as I change the color here on the hue slider, it changes the color that we see on just the sky layer. And then saturation, if you go down this way, you get a duller color. If you go up this way, you get a brighter color. And then you've got darkness and light that you can adjust. So I can make it really dark here, really saturated. I can adjust to like whatever color I like. We got a nice red sky now. That kind of looks nice. We'll stick with that. Okay, so I've got my mountains. I've got my color adjustment layer, and it directly affects the layer below it, which is the sky. All right, now I'm going to grab the text tool, and I'm just going to click on the screen, and I'm going to type my name, and I'll have to move that layer to the top so I can see it. Okay, now I want to adjust the size of this layer. Now, of course, I could change the font size here, and that'll get me pretty far, but what I actually need to do is turn on transform controls, and I need to just change the size. Okay, so there is my name really big now. I'm going to turn off the transform controls here. Alright, now one of the things you need to do is you need to take this from being text and convert it into being a shape. So you're just going to right click on the text layer and say convert to shape. What this is going to allow you to do is then bring in this pattern file. In this case, just Control C, Control V, and then you're going to adjust the size of your pattern file. Again, so you're going to hold Shift to keep the proportions. You'll have to do your best. You'll have to do your best. Okay. So, once you have it in place, you're going to make sure that the pattern layer is on top of the text layer. And then you're going to right click and you're going to say clipping mask. And what that does is it uses the shape on the layer below the pattern layer, which in this case is our text, and it uses it to create a clipping mask, so that then the pattern that we have fits inside the shape. We can move that anywhere we want, and that's it. That's all you have to do. So to turn in this assignment, you're going to actually take a screenshot of the whole screen so that I can see the work that you did over here, and I can see your work I can see your artwork in the middle of the page, and also see your layer work on the side. You're going to turn in the screenshot for the assignment. However, you're also going to want to try to save this thing so that you can work on it again or export it for your portfolio at the end of the semester. So save as a PSD. All right, and then you can name the project and save it in your folder. I'm just going to click save. Okay, I'm going to go to that. I'm going to go to that file now that it's saved as a PSD. When I'm on my computer, I should be able to double click that file, and it should open Photoshop, and it's asking me, do you want to keep the layers that you created, or do you want to flatten those layers, meaning each layer won't be editable on its own, it'll just come in as one image. Well, I want to try and keep the layers because I want to still be able to edit it. And it looks like, look at that. Well, actually, I don't know that it did work. Oh wait, yeah, there's the sky layer, there's the mountain layer, there's the pattern, and there's the text shape. So everything is still editable. This looks pretty good. It didn't come in perfectly, but I can open it as a Photoshop file now and do some things with it. So anyway, that was Photopea, which is an online tool which you can use on your Chromebook, and then you should be able, as long as you save it as a PSD, you should be able to open it in Illustrator later.